Hi, everyone. Welcome to Soulprint. Thank you very, very much for being here. All right. I want to take a look at the trajectory, if you will, what's likely to unfold with the Republican Party um, as we go forward. Already, there's a lot of splintering going on because they're not cohesive about the big, beautiful bill. Um, you know, some are actually starting to go, oh crap, like this is going to, really, really negatively impact my constituents and they're going to take it out on me. And so, I can't agree with this. So I want to take a look and see how sort of the energy unfolds for the party as we move forward. I mean, my God, the guy's only been in office for 5 months. And everyone's exhausted. He becomes more and more aggressive and very quick to become vengeful. So let's take a look and see how the party's going to do going forward. All right, here we go. Um, GO, GOP current trajectory, GOP current trajectory, GOP current trajectory. Okay, we're starting off with a 10 of wands, all right? So this is becoming a heavy lift for a lot of members of the GOP. They're starting to really, this is the thing. They can have those town halls, and they can say stupid things like, "Well, we're all going to die anyways." Um, Apparently, she's being challenged um, for the primaries. Anyways, um, but you can bet that after they've sort of braved it and they've walked off the stage, they're not quite so cocky and they're not quite so confident. They're more like, Jesus, like what? How much worse can it possibly get? I mean, my constituents are literally like almost coming at me with pitchforks. Um, and so there is an awareness that they are being negatively impacted by and large. I mean, this is the thing, right? I mean, that big, beautiful bill, even though I don't think it's certainly not going to go through in the shape it's in, but the bottom line is you have um, a lot of people who are going to be hurt. And ironically, very often, or um, there's a disproportionate number of people in red states that are going to be negatively impacted. Knight, it's a Knight of Cups, right? Um, stars in their eyes, seeing things sort of from this very romantic perspective, you know. Um, it's just all going to be wonderful. Well, and it hasn't. So where they're at right now is a party as trying to figure out how to hang on, try to hold on to what they've got. And make no mistake, that is their motivation. It's about their own success. It's about their own political futures. It's not, and it always has been, and we know this, right? It's not necessarily that these people agree as much as they're scared to disagree. But they're coming to a place where, unless they're a little bit like noisy about um not approving, they're going to continue to get a lot of pushback and blowback from their own constituents. And slowly but surely, you're going to have one of two reactions, maybe three. Either all of a sudden people are going to be announcing that they're not going to run again because they have an awareness that they're really not likely to win the election, and better to, step away sort of when you're whole, than, get shredded in an election and then sort of have to, skither away. But so I don't ever think that, it's not that, again, it's not like they agree. Some do, some think brilliant, but by and large, a lot, particularly people who have, um, it's two extremes. One who have been in politics for a really, really long time and they know exactly how the games are played, and those who have been in politics for a short amount of time and aren't prepared to play the games. But you have a, a desire to hold on to what they have, and he is sort of taking that option away from them, if you will. Got the 8 of Wands. So there's going to be a lot of communication. Even with this bill, um, the Senate has said no to it, I'm pretty sure. So what's the next step? I don't know. Does it get reworked? Because they're not going to let it die, right? So obviously they got to figure out another way to push something through that's going to add what, $3 trillion to the deficit. They're going to try to present a united front for once. So what you're going to have is people who are prepared to take the wrath of their constituents are going to come together and try to present this sort of united front. We're all in this together, et cetera, et cetera. I gotta say, I don't know that it's going to work because a lot of their tricks and trickery are going to start really, really showing up. And people are going to become less and less tolerant of the shenanigans. Um, you know, more and more, you're getting an energy of 9 of Cups. So this is like the manifestation card, right? This is the ultimate wish card. But in this case, the energy around it is, I put you there and I can vote you out. More and more people are less and less willing to ignore and disregard um, some of the decisions that are being made, some of the behavior that's going on. And so what you have is the people themselves pushing back in their attempt to create something new and something less corrupt and something, frankly, less dangerous. So they're 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 going to be more under fire by the very people who vote for them than almost the amount of pressure that's being exerted on them from the Oval. All right. Um, but people are motivated and they're pushing back against against a party that honestly, for all intent and purposes, has lost their way. Yeah, they didn't they never liked all of the sort of entitlements um that were out there. They always wanted to find a way to kind of knock that back. But what they really were against was sort of a deficit. And it strikes me as just a little bit ironic that, unless I'm wrong, the last time the United States didn't have a deficit was when Bill Clinton was in office. So, I mean, they can't even get it right, you know, when they are in power. Um, so mm, you're going to see more and more people um, at Night of Wands becoming much more careful about what they say and how they say it, because they're mindful that this isn't going well for them. They can pop out their chests and bluster all they want. They understand it's not going well. And the other side of that is you're going to find people hiding out, just literally hiding out. Like, don't notice me. I have nothing to say. I have no comment. Um, I mean, it's like the very people who voted for the bill now are going to say, "Well, I don't know anything about it," and in fact, most of them don't because they didn't take time to read it. It was just like party line, right? This is what party want. This is what 45 wants. This is what we're going to do. But again, it's not going to, I guess, sustain them, if you will, in the long run. You've got the 4 and the 5 of swords. So this is not good energy from the party. In some ways, it almost feels like the party is going to um I kind of want us to get so sick that it dies out. And that there will be a new sort of a new influx of energy and people that are going to define, I guess, what being a Republican means. Maybe it'll work. Not so sure. And you've got this sort of win at any cost is ultimately going to backfire on them. And this is interesting. You have the Judgment card, and the Judgment card is followed by the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. So it feels like there's going to be legal um I don't know if I can say ramifications, but a legal response to the mercenary type behavior and the take no prisoners behavior that they have been sort of displaying. There's going to be more information coming out about dark money, about who is aligned with who. And the problem boils down to this Ace of Swords. You can't stand on a hilltop and preach that you are the most powerful and the best and the most capable. when you have somebody, Seven of Cups, who lives in chaos and loves to live in chaos and who perpetuates it because there is no consistency, if you will, to what it is they believe in, because all they know is that they believe whatever 45 believes. And yes, are there some of them who wish to God they could go back to another time, but they can't. They made their bed, they're sleeping in it. And so now they're in a position truly of having to just defend themselves. And honestly, they're defending themselves against something that they're not going to be able to win. Because the more people you hurt, the more resistance is created. Um, this is the thing, right? The higher you climb, the harder you fall. And they've climbed really high right now. They've got the House, they've got the Senate, they've got the presidency. And when they collapse, when they fall, it's going to be cataclysmic. Um, not only are people being hurt, not only are their medical needs not being taken care of, not only do they not even have money coming in that frankly they're entitled to, they contributed to it. um, but they're not going to go, oh, it's okay. They're going to push back, and you can see it. They're already starting. And as of right now, I have to say that aside from a few, a lot of them are going to hang on to Trump's coattails as long as they can, even to their own detriment. Um, some of them are just not prepared to stand up. They're not prepared to do the right thing because honestly, along the way, they've lost their moral compass. They had a moral compass, and granted, okay, like 50% of the country didn't agree with their moral compass, but at least they had one. Um, and now they do not. They just don't. They are floundering and trying to put on a face of a strong and united front. And that's not an accurate reflection of what's going on. Excuse me, my throat's drying up on me. Okay. So that's where we're at. I guess in some ways, we're going to sit back and we're going to watch to see how this unfolds. Um, if people weren't getting hurt by the thousands, by the millions, I would say, stock up on your popcorn because it's going to be really entertaining. But too much damage is being inflicted. So, again, as I always say, pay enough attention so you know what is going on, but don't immerse yourself in it because it truly will make you crazy. And just remember, the higher they climb, the harder they fall. Until next time, take care and be well. Bye for now.